This is the Nuclear Option Podcast with Chris and Aziza Butler, the podcast for those who dare to believe in the power of the nuclear family.
In a time where it's harder than ever to build a family, we want to encourage you to be proud of your family. Invest in your family because our families carry the most promising solutions for the problems in our world. Greetings! Welcome to the Nuclear Option Podcast, where we discuss the practice and the politics and the promise of family.
You know what it is. From our home to yours, we are inviting you into a conversation about the family, not just as a private institution, but as a public good.
Yes. Welcome. Hi, my love.
Beautiful. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm so good.
Are you
Glad
excited about this new, we have people with us who are like helping us to make this into like a real thing.
Yes.
So shout out to
All
Mike
the
and
people.
Nathaniel helping us make this.
Yes. And then the
Well,
people who are also making it happen in other ways, like all the people who are doing all the things for we school and our
Yes.
kids
The
who are
teachers,
helping us out.
the childcare people, the everyone.
It's a whole thing. I know we're the only two in front of this camera, but there's so many more all around who you can't see that. And we're just so grateful for them. And I'm grateful for you, my love. I'm so glad to be your wife. I know I tell you that like every day, but I really am.
Well,
Such a
I'm
great
glad to
man.
be your husband because you're a great wife.
Thank you, my love. Okay, let's jump into it. So first of all, we're going to talk about politics. That's how we
Yes.
do it. We talk about the politics first, then the practice and then the promise of family.
So in our politics section today, we are talking about this this notion. So we actually are going to talk specifically about this Harvard sociologist, Christina Cross, and she was on television recently making an argument, but it's actually an argument that I have seen being made more and more. And it's this idea that, as she calls it, it's the marriage myth or something like that. And basically asserting, I'll quote Dr. Cross. She says that for Black families, being in a two-parent married couple household doesn't help that much.
Exactly.
And so I think that's a little bit of a false assertion. I think if you, so the argument that she's making is, I guess you have to say like technically factual, right? Because she comes in and she says a child in a household with married parents living together, a Black child in that situation is not faring as well in the United States as a white child living in that situation. And therefore, this marriage question does not help that much. I think it's disingenuous, and I'll kick this over to you in like in just a second. But just so the audience can know, that comparison between a white child living in a married household and a Black child living in a married household is true. The rate of children living in poverty in a white married couple household is 5%. The Black children living in a married couple household is 12%. So you compare those two numbers, one group is clearly doing better than the other. What Dr. Cross is not doing is comparing that number to white children living in a single mom household
versus
where you got 31% living in poverty, compared to, again, 12% Black kids living in a married household. They're 12% poverty. Black kids living in a single mom household, 45% of them are living in poverty. Single dad household, white children, 17% living in poverty. Black children, 36% living in poverty. So the poverty rate of Black children living in a married couple household is actually lower than all the rest of those categories across all the rest of the races. And we're just talking about white and Black here, but if you go to like any other ethnic group, you know, it is the same. Like in a married household, Black kids are doing better than all the rest of the categories, except for white children living in a married couple household. So again, it's like a technically fair comparison, but I feel like when you put it in the context and say like, well, it doesn't help that much, and what you really got to do for Black families is like have a lot more sort of like social programs, it just feels a little disingenuous to me.
Right. And that's what she was trying to say. I think the upside of it was she was just saying we shouldn't do away with these like social programs that, you know, like TANF and wait, what is it?
Well, what 10 of
Oh,
all,
yeah,
I
all of
think
it.
she would
Saying,
advocate
oh,
all the
right.
things,
Okay.
right?
So she was saying
All the things.
do those things, but she was just saying it doesn't uh like investing in those programs is something that should be a priority because that helps Black kids a lot. But I was looking at just the big difference between it was such a huge disparity between a single mom with children versus a two-parent household just in Black families. Like it was like the biggest gap was like a 33%
Right.
gap because they broke it down by like numbers. I mean, by like races. And the biggest gap was the for Black kids, it was the single mom versus the like a two-parent household. And I think there are many factors that can go into that. Yeah, I think that her argument was not very
Yeah,
I think it's just not
it's lacking a
reflective. Even
lot
when
of
think about
context.
our like go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's like a lot of context, especially if the assertion is we should stop thinking about policy to encourage folks to get married, stay married,
Right, right.
have children, and instead think about, you know, how to do these social safety net programs. One, the one intervention is like a lot more, like there are a lot more costs
Yeah,
associated
for sure. 'Cause it's
with
policy.
it.
Mhm.
And, I'm not in the camp of like making this necessarily into like an either or mutually exclusive proposition. I don't think it necessarily is that. But I think when you begin to assert that like, hey, we need to stop talking about marriage because it's a
Mhm.
myth
Right.
that parents being married to one another actually improves the life outcomes for their children. That's just completely not true. And so we shouldn't stop talking about that. Like we should be talking about that a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, and she did make it like it was a myth of like having a whole, I guess, nuclear family being like that's a very solid situation. And we all know that just even from personal experience. There's so many benefits that come from that. So for sure, I think that is definitely not a myth. It can be proven with sociology and science and numbers and all the things. So it definitely improves the outcome for kids and praise the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think it's important to talk about because, like I said, I've seen it, I've seen this being discussed like more and more. And, a big part of why we're doing this is to encourage people to have confidence in this sort
Hmm.
of like way of living.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I would hate for somebody to be like, I got married for no reason like
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Or like, oh, I was going to get married, but if it doesn't even help that much, then
Right.
So yeah, that is definitely the thing. All right, yeah. So let's keep it.
Unfortunate for me, we don't spend our whole time talking about
All
politics.
right, all right. Keeping the politics is so fun, right? But no, we can't keep it there. Let's move on to the practice. So I want to share something that was fun.
Yeah.
I think we started doing it maybe like a few weeks ago. I don't can't remember. Maybe sometime in September. Um,
I feel
but
like we've done it before. Like,
um
we just got this particular one.
we have to say what it is. We keep doing that,
And
love.
I
You have
like
to
this when we do the practice
no,
and we
because
say
then
it
if you
like 6 things about it before we say what it is,
but
and
then
it
they're like,
builds the
what is it? Can you
anticipation.
give us the context first?
It's the anticipation. So what is
Well, this thing is no. So these cards, these question cards that we got, they have like they're basically like family question cards, but I like them because it's not just like we've had general games and stuff where it's just like, oh, learn about the family, like what's your favorite movie, or something
right?
like that. What I like about this is that it's like, okay, this question is only for dad to answer, or this question is only for mom to answer, or this one is only for a big sibling to answer. And then they may have to like ask a question and maybe everybody's saying or maybe everybody except dad. And so then everybody kind of shares their perspective on this question about dad. Anyway, I love it so much because one, I feel like we get to see like our kids' personalities and just kind of see what matters to them or what they have picked up on,
Mhm.
especially in this season of life, because these are kind of open-ended questions where they change every time. Like, we could play it like next week again, like we played
No,
it a couple of days ago, play it next week. I'm sure the answers would be, still like kind of like a lot different. And then even our 4-year-old, like he's able to participate as he's watching them and he's like, okay, I'm, having to do that. Anyway, also as an educator, I think there's so many, I'm sorry, I'm
No,
dominating.
no, no. This is good.
As an educator, I love that I can see them just like learning conversational skills, like listening, like I'm not doing great now, but
We're
listening, taking
listening.
turns,
Everybody tell
building off.
my wife she's done a beautiful job.
Oh, that's so sweet, my love. But yeah, I just think it's so great. It has so many benefits, like one, like appreciating each other, seeing each other differently, and then learning about each other, but then also just how to like engage in conversation and listen to each other. It's so good. I think there's been so many great fruitful things, great conversations like we intended. I'm like, oh, we'll get through these like maybe 5 or 6, but then we'll get stuck on like, a second one that'll spark a conversation. And it's like, well, oh, when did you start saying that? How does
So
that
what's like
happen?
one like an example of like a favorite question so
Oh,
far
good
then?
question. I love the question. This is my favorite one just because I was like, oh, this is so cute. The question was, you had to fill in the blank. It was like everybody except Dad answers it. And it said, I feel like I know when Dad is there for me when he blank or something like that. I think it was
Yeah.
like that. Like, anyway, everybody had a totally different, like,
And it was pretty illuminating
it was
because I was not I think I was looking for anybody's answer.
right. That's
Um
true. Yeah.
in terms of like how they answered it. Like Azaria was like when he pushes his glasses up and like takes a deep breath.
Right. Which is like, what? So subtle, but to her, it's like, that's how I know that he's got my back
Taking it
and he's gonna
seriously.
like. And I thought that's so funny. And then what did Corbin say? I think he said, like, when you say, it was something again very subtle,
Yeah.
like, um, when he says, uh, okay, or something like that. I don't know, it's something
Yeah, it
super
was
subtle.
some kind of like catchphrase or whatever.
Yeah, but I love it. I thought that was so fun just to
No,
and I felt like it was
we have
good
to
for
remember
you.
what Corbin said, otherwise we're gonna be in big trouble.
Oh gosh, you're right. And Lord, help me. I feel like
Let
I'm
me
not gonna
at
remember.
least let me say, Corbin, I love you very much.
Oh, you're such a
It's
great
middle of the
dad.
day. It was really hard to get this whole thing set up. I'm doing the best I can, but it'll be okay because, like you said, when we play next week, it'll be different, right?
Yes. Corbin knows that you love him
Here's a
so
pop
much.
question,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't plan this, so if we
Uh-oh.
don't know the answer, that's fine. But
It's good.
what is the like? What is we're saying like cards, but what kind of cards? Is it like a brand? I don't know the
Oh,
answer to this myself.
yeah. I think I remember it said like Mom Possible on it or something. I think that's something. And then I think we got like at the
We got
HSLDA
an
conference.
HSLDA conference, so
Um
shout out
s-
to HSLDA for
yes,
giving us that
yes.
tremendous, yeah,
Yeah, I like keep it in
blessing.
my purse. It's right there now that I think about it. It's in my purse.
Uh,
'Cause I just keep it like anytime, it's in the car. It's like we want to make sure that we can just pop off a question at any point that we need it. Um and so
are you crazy?
no, you don't have to take it out. It's fine. But I
That's our
do
way of saying don't go in my
I do think it's very helpful for kids of all ages.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing like all the way down to our 3-year-old, he's able to jump into it. And then honestly, even if your kids are adults, it's a fun thing. I think one of the questions is like, what did you do? Like, what was your favorite trip when you were a kid or something? Or what's your favorite memory of being with your parents or something?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's you
Yeah, it helps
can.
them like learn about your story. It
Mhm.
helps like parents reflect. It's a really dope thing,
It's
I'd
so
say.
good. You guys have to try it. So try it.
And if
It'll
I'm
be
saying I like it, I should just caveat that too, right? Like if I'm saying I like it, like it's really nice. 'Cause
that's true because he does
a
not
lot
like
of these things are
it.
not like it's not my bag.
That's true. You just cooperate with me, and I appreciate that.
But this is really nice.
It's so fun. And again, every stage, even if you've done it, last month, you can do it again this month. It's so versatile and it's worth it. And it sparks conversations and even just like kind of qualms about things. Like I think one of the kids was kind of like, oh, you know, something about like one of their jokes or something, whatever. It came out that it was like, hey, you haven't been doing this, and that kind of hurts my feelings. And so we were able to work through that. And I think that's super helpful too. It's like a family meeting and conversation in the same way, in the same uh situation. So
Yes,
check
and
it out.
we are not being paid to
Oh,
recommend these cards. Like
that's
we have no
true.
sponsorship or anything like that.
We
We're
don't.
just
We're just
like
telling you.
I don't even know the name of it. So
Yeah. We should probably look if we can
we'll put
find
it in the show
something.
notes if
There
we
we
can
go in
find
the
the
show
name.
notes. Everything is going to be a show note.
Everything is in
Be
the
like,
show notes.
let's.
Speaking of show notes, because we didn't do this, we're working this out, guys, to be very professional. But we didn't say at the top of the show that we need everybody to like and subscribe. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're getting your podcast, subscribe, like the episode. If you listen on your podcast, share this with somebody else.
Yeah.
So subscribe and share. That is the assignment.
Very good. Yes, that's your homework.
And we will do our homework. I'll put the thing in the show notes.
Yeah.
Should we go to?
Yes. Well, before I want to say, I think it's important to subscribe and share because there's so many people who would be encouraged by the content that we're talking about, and hopefully it's encouraging to you too. So, let's just make that algorithm work for us and not against us. All right. So the promise in this section, we just want to give like a good example of how this family thing that we do as a nuclear family, where have we seen the benefits of it just on display? So, why don't you tell us, love?
I was reading. So first off, in Chicago, we live in Chicago. There is a piece of an ordinance. I don't know if you call it a city ordinance, a piece of legislation, whatever.
That's true.
But it's certainly an ordinance trying to make it easier to build like granny flats and mother-in-law suites, however you call it. But these are basically what do they call it? Like an ADU, like a alternative dwelling unit. But is essentially like a fully, operational dwelling unit, but it's built on single family land. So like an upstairs apartment or like above the garage. I've seen it like above a garage, but it's got all the things like the kitchen, it's got a bathroom, it's got all the things.
It's that own entry, own exit thing like that.
Now, some people don't like this in their neighborhoods because they're like, the neighborhood is already overpopulated, and really it gets into all the things where people don't necessarily like affordable rental housing going into their neighborhood.
Yeah.
Which that's a separate conversation because I think I have some feelings about that, but this is not the politics section.
This isn't.
What I wanted to just highlight here, though, what we want to talk about is how the conversation has actually been separated, like this granny flat has been separated from a family framework. And if you think about it, I think if people thought about it in a family framework, it would work a lot better because then it's not just like, oh, we're building rental housing.
Right. Like we're rezoning the community so we can have these ADUs because it works, for people who need kind of like who have smaller incomes. They need to be able to have some affordable housing options that aren't like a huge house, that aren't like apartments. And that would, so that's one way to frame it.
Yeah. But really, and that's why they call it like a granny flat. It's because really the concept of this grows out of like family, having those multi-generational families. We haven't had that in our own household. We haven't. Moment of silence. Because we think it would be wonderful
if grandparents all the time.
Yeah. Our mothers are both very involved with our children.
And us as their children too.
And our siblings' children.
Yes, and us. I'm saying like they're involved in our lives too.
They are involved in our lives.
And our siblings' lives.
Our children are also involved in our lives. Everybody's involved in our lives. But so I'm just saying I think we can see how it would be like super convenient if Nana lived upstairs.
Right.
But also Nana would not want to be like, I got to come to your kitchen.
Right.
Like I want to have my own kitchen.
Their own kitchen.
And so like you can see the utilitarian nature of having these types of housing. I think about like Bishop and Apostle Katie, like they actually built
like a whole part of their house,
onto their house. And so it just seems like to me, if the conversation was reconnected to like extended family dwelling and not just like random, so when people think about this, it's not like, oh, my next door neighbor is going to have like some completely random person living in their backyard. But the concept was more around like family, like, and be like
extension of their family, for sure.
Sister-in-law.
And I think the good thing about it, I think the good thing about it is that it kind of gives itself of like who's going to take kind of accountability and ownership for it. Like if it were just like regular new apartments or something, that's one level of like suspicion and just like we may want to press pause on that, allowing that. But if it's like it's attached to a family a single family house that's already, in the community, already there. We know the people there. It's just it hits differently for the community, and we saw that because this ordinance that went out, it actually passed to the next like level or
Yeah, it went
something
to
in
the next step.
September.
I don't know where
It
the
is in the process,
process
but I mean, it's very new, so we'll see how it goes.
with that initiative.
But I
We
think
probably will.
them thinking of it in the context of family as opposed to like, oh, we just need, like, because they were talking about all the benefits that ADUs would have for people who just need an alternative kind of living space to fit their income. It's like this is something that, like, put in the context of family, a nuclear family is a very good way for them to just
So
repackage it as
family
something that.
makes good policy more
Yes, it
palatable.
does. Oh, that's
That's the
good. Wait, say that again.
family makes good policy more palatable.
Oh, that's beautiful.
10 years of
I
preaching.
like
You
that.
made your mind in a certain way.
That's great. It's so powerful. That's so true. I love it. That's so great. Well, thank you so much for taking this time with us. This is
Yes.
exciting.
It's been a beautiful thing. And we will remind you again, if you are listening to this, if you're watching on YouTube, to like, subscribe, and share this with everybody you know who you think can benefit.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Nuclear Option Podcast. Keep loving each other.
Hold on to truth.
And harness your power. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.